Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the First Class, Second Place podcast. I'm your host, Jason Enrique, and we got another First Class guest up in the building today. But before we continue, I want to remind everybody that we are live at Bravery Studios in Garfield, New Jersey. Shout out to Big Marv behind the glass. Thank you so much for coming through on this, Marv. So, I have a riddle for everybody. What happens when the greatest hair at Bravery Studios collaborates with the greatest podcaster of all time? Well, you have my next guest, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, none other than the host of the Rick H Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick H is in the building.
Man, it feels so good to be back at Bravery Studios. I feel like this is home already. This is my second time here and the second pod, and I hope Marv don't kick me out of here.
No, bro, you family at this point, bro. All that's missing is just the Bravery Studios tat, and then you'd be official tissue.
I mean, I'll get it done. I'll get it done, and we'll bring the Rick H Show over here, out of my basement over here, or out of this space. And I don't know. I don't think Marv wants two Jason Enriquez in here.
That's funny you mentioned that because there's there has been some correlation between us. Like, people tend to say that I'm the New Jersey version of Rick H, or you're the New York
version of you.
Yeah.
Is it the back? You know, we dress very similar.
Yeah, we have phenomenal.
Are you obsessed with black, or is it just? I love black T-shirts. So
me too. Like, if you watch all of my episodes, and I would hope that you would, every shirt that I own is pretty much black.
Yeah, me too. And not only that, but I just like. I saw it on the back of your neck, and I was like, "Oh shit, we even got the same chain."
Yeah.
Your voice is more like so. We're here at Bravery Studios. I'm your host, Jason Enriquez. Mine is more like if you did helium, that's where, but it was still deep, you know?
Thank you, Marv. Perfect. Well, anyway, bro, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. It's a pleasure to have you here live in studio. You are somebody that I really respect, and I've been following you for quite some time. I started my podcast journey in 2021.
Mutual, by the way. I don't want to cut you off on your own show, but mutual respect, mutual feeling. That's why I wanted you on my pod, and not because you had asked me to. This is long overdue, by the way.
Yeah.
Specifically on this pod.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like I let you down because we didn't do it in the time we wanted to.
Right.
And that's why I was like, you know what? Let's do the Rick H Show first.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, you didn't let me down. I naturally assumed because you're this big, great podcaster, and I've been following you, and you've been doing your thing.
Small podcast.
Mr. Modesty over here. So, but the point that I'm getting at is, when I first started this podcast journey, I noticed you and a handful of others that we know mutually, and I'm like, you know what? These are the people that I aspire to be like one day, or at least, be
better than?
No.
I would hope better than.
Well, I had to start somewhere. Like, first and foremost, I wanted to make sure that I actually am in the presence of people like you guys, you and the whole family.
That's a good mentality.
Because I feel like if I can make it happen, that I'm doing something right. And so far, humbly speaking, I feel like everything that I've been doing up to this point with the podcast makes me realize more than ever that I am supposed to be doing this.
This is definitely your space. You definitely have. You're very good at interviewing, first of all.
Thank you, man.
Second of all, you do have the voice. And the physical attributes, this is definitely your space. You've been here for a while already, and every time I watch one of the episodes, there's definitely an improvement on certain things. And lately, I never was a fan of watching my own shows. I don't know if you do that.
I only watch it maybe twice just to see if there's anything that needs to be fixed or tweaked or what I could work at better. And then I just watch the final product, and then I never watch it again. However, there has been some exceptions where if I'm mentally going through it, because I had those moments where like I'm not in the right headspace, sometimes I'll go to an episode that takes me back to a place where I was okay, or I had a guest that had some dropping gems. That I really needed. Like, a perfect example, one of my good dear friends, Lori Love, shout out to Lori Love. That is an episode and a guest that I will always consider evergreen, because before she came on my show, we had a deep conversation that actually made me feel better, because I was going through some mentally tough times, and she helped me get out of it. And then afterwards I did the work myself, and she dropped one of the greatest gems that anybody will ever hear on a podcast. So if I ever come back to that point, I know I could rely on that episode specifically to get me back to where I need to be. So thank you very much, Lori Love. Much love to you. One of the greatest guests in the history of First Class, Second Place.
So I've never done that before. before, and I do that with music.
Okay.
So I could, transport back to that space. I was never a fan of watching. I didn't want, because I'm my own biggest critic.
Yeah, me too.
And I get really, like, I watched the one we did, me, you, and Hugo. It was
Yo, BTV Sports. Shout out to Hugo.
Hilarious.
Oh my God.
And I watched that episode 3 or 4 times. Yeah. Right. But I found myself watching it, and then I found myself watching my mannerisms, what I was saying. Anytime I did the or whatever it is, and I started critiquing myself. That's why I don't tend to watch myself, because I could be too tough on myself, and then I don't just concentrate on just what I'm actually doing.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because it's kind of the same thing, because that specific episode, which I implore everybody to watch, because it's an evergreen episode. The chemistry between us is fantastic. However,
we made a gem next door.
However, I feel like there was moments where you and Hugo were actually making some good points, and I didn't know what to say or add anything of value, so I just forced saying anything funny or stupid. And I wish I understand it was in the moment, but at that time I wish I could take it back, because I feel like it could have possibly interrupted the flow that you and Hugo were on, and I should have just it was radio gold, and I had no right in interrupting with my stupid anecdotes.
No, I don't think so. I think it was perfect. I like I said, I thought not the worst part of the episode, or the things that I found that
the least favorite part
were certain things that I did.
Okay.
But I thought the chemistry between the three of us, not just me and Hugo, was fantastic.
Right.
It just makes, whenever you have people who don't agree on one thing and they're having a conversation about it, it makes for great content. So,
right.
Yeah.
And also, there's a little tidbit that people could actually go on Instagram, where we did a promo for that episode. And, when we cut promos for that episode, we would be like, so what did we talk about? And you, with your snappy comeback, like, you were like, how his Cowboys suck and Dak Prescott will never win a championship. That right there was just a snippet of what you could expect from the episode. And it's so funny.
It was, well, before we started shooting, which I wish, I don't know if they have it, but we sit down. I didn't know Hugo. Well, you had told me Hugo was a Cowboys fan.
I told you on your show.
But Hugo didn't know that I was a Giants fan.
Oh, well.
So when we sat down, I made a comment about the Cowboys, and he's like, "Oh, we bringing the heat now." I forgot what Hugo said, but like I could see it in his face that he was like, "Okay, I see where this is going."
But you know what though?
Day.
He's dealt with that all his life as a Cowboy fan. He always is ready with his dukes up, because he knows that being a Cowboy fan in Giants country, he's gonna get the slack. He knows it.
I mean, so there's 2 Cowboy fans that I fully respect, Hugo being one and Ray Santy being the other, because they're not delusional Cowboy fans.
Right. They like, and that's,
although he loves Dak Prescott a little bit too much, but we'll just leave it right there.
Yeah, no, but you're absolutely right, because they're not delusional fans, especially Hugo. Like, he's when they're bad, he will rip them, and justifiably so. So he's not one of those delusional fans, like, because I know some 49ers fans that they think that Brock Purdy is the next Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
That's a huge.
That's pretty
stretch.
far. I would say I'm impressed by Brock, where he got, and where he came from, but Joe Montana.
Hey,
I'll take Purdy over Prescott.
Okay,
I would say that though.
I don't know if I would agree with that, but let's not.
This is not your TV Sports, bro.
But it's a nice promo. It's a nice setup for your BTV. So this is what you could expect. Shout out to Hugo from the Hugo Boy podcast. So, but yeah, I was actually very honored and humbled that you invited me on your show, because, like I said, I have been a fan of your show for quite some time, and I've
been on it 3 times now.
Yeah, I have.
We just did something on Tuesday.
Yep, and then
we shot something in the studio. And then we did a virtual episode
a while back with El Motherfucker. Is that
El Motherfucker?
Yeah, there you go.
Shout out to Jerry Diaz.
Yeah, that's who it was. Who it was. Shout out to him. He's been showing a lot of love on the Instagram. So shout out to you, Jerry. But yeah, no. But when we were in studio, I was very honored, because, like I said, you you and Rachel and a whole bunch of other people have been doing this a little bit longer than I have. So you guys are seasoned, in my opinion, and being able to rub shoulders with you guys and have that correlation and that chemistry with you, it's very humbling to me. It makes me feel that I'm actually doing something good with my life. And it may not seem like a big deal to many people, but it is to me, because there was a long stretch of time, especially in my 20s, where I felt like I wasn't destined for anything great. I was just one of those people that I was going to work regular 9 to 5 until the day I die.
I went through that. I went through that phase in my 20s also. So besides podcasting, I do work a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah, so do I. We got to pay the bills at the end of the day.
I have a demanding a job, and I wasn't feeding my creative side. When I was in college, I was the vice president of the radio station. I used to create and write music as well. So I wasn't feeding my creative side for a really long time. And then I got into podcasting, and I found, I wouldn't say my calling, but I found something that I was very passionate about and I enjoyed doing. And it was like my release. And I got to do it once a week, and I noticed that there was, so when I first started, I went like 2-3 years where I recorded at least an episode every week.
Yeah.
Right. I slowed down in the later part of the years, because at first I wanted to record as many as possible and I wanted to learn as much as possible. Now it's more about I want to do things I want to do. I want to talk about things I want to do. So I've slowed down a little bit, but I remember, like, if I didn't record 1 week, my mood would be completely different.
Yeah, you had to get your fix. That's exactly how it is with me. And it's funny you mention that, because when I first started the show, it was audio only. For like the first 50 to 60 episodes, it was nothing but audio only.
I had 9 audio episodes first.
Yeah.
Then I flipped into the video.
Right. And when I was doing audio only, I was actually releasing 2 episodes a week, because I was able to do it, and I had just my laptop and all the technology. It was easier for me to do it because I didn't have to worry about anything visual. And there's something about the audio only
classic
that what I love about it is not only because it feeds our radio aspirations or whatever the case may be, but I'm actually we're seeing eye to eye right now. We're talking, but when it was just audio only, where there was no cameras involved, especially for people that are not used to this kind of medium, just being able to talk one-on-one, giving eye contact and getting deep and intimate with the conversation with just the mic in our faces, it was some of the best conversations I ever had, and I still kind of miss it. But these are the kind of things that we got to do in order to elevate our brand and our platforms and so on and so forth. And to me, it's just a small price to pay. But I do miss the days where I could just show up like completely when my hair is just all out of whack and I'm just wearing pajamas and slides while I'm doing one of the greatest conversations of all time.
I used to record the pod out of my old office off of iPhone, not even a mic.
Right.
The first 3 episodes were off the iPhone.
Wow.
And then I finally purchased a microphone, and it was a USB mic. It wasn't even the right mic for podcasting. But I had fun, and we were drinking beers. You could hear the ambiance that we're recording in. Like you could hear a truck backing out. And I always
that's
was
like
into,
pure Washington Heights podcast right there.
Yeah, I was always into sports radio talk and radio
Me too,
itself.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe Beningo, because he was one of my biggest aspirations, and I've been very fortunate to have him on my show 3 times as well.
Yeah, I used to love Bob Costas.
Yeah,
when he called the games on NBC.
I like Stuart Scott.
He was good. Scott was one of, oh my God, one of my favorite things was to watch would be to watch the baseball game, watch baseball tonight, and then watch ESPN Sports Center.
Yeah,
that was some of my favorite stuff to do as a kid, and a fan of the hip hop culture. I've always been a fan of Angie Martinez, who I got to meet. So radio was always my thing, and
I was always a big fan of her, and also Ed Lover and Dr. Dre at the time. Those were my guys. I was never really well, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but
I know where you're going with that. DJs in the nighttime.
Yeah. No. I actually like the DJs in the nighttime. I'm talking about some, like, there's a prominent, very popular broadcaster in the radio industry that I'm not particularly a fan of, but I'm not going to mention his name.
All right, you can tell me later.
I'll tell you afterwards. Yeah. But no, So you just described a little bit how you got into like radio a little bit. You know, you had the background and so on and so forth. So for me, and I've told this on my show plenty of times, it basically started because I was a delivery driver. It was one of my first, behind the road type of jobs. And this before there was iPods or anything. There was CD players, but the thing was always messed up in the work car.
So you had to AM or FM.
AM or FM, that was my only choice. So I was always switching from WFAN or High 97, Power 101, and also I'm a little bit of romantic, so a little bit of WBLS as well.
What about Light FM? What was that lady's name?
I forget, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Night Drives.
Yes.
Leaving Patterson.
Right.
Delilah.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Round of applause for Rick H for that one.
Such an amazing voice. Light FM. I don't know if she's still on. I guess she would come on like at 8 o'clock or 8 to 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
I would be leaving Patterson, New Jersey, driving back to New York, and I'd always tune into that radio. She had like something like her voice was so calming and soothing, and she played like really good, like unwinding music.
Yeah.
So, Delilah, that was another show of mine.
Yeah, and you also kind of took me back to CD 101.9 because my father used to own his own business. It was like a GNC vitamin shop type of store from back in the day. And the only radio station that he allowed in the store was CD 101.9 because it was nothing but jazz music. Yeah. Now it's WFAN, but before it was nothing but jazz music. So I heard all the Kenny
G. The ambiance.
Yeah, I heard all the Kenny G in the world whenever I stepped into that store.
Kenny G. My mom was a Kenny G fan, and I distinctly remember this is one album she had, and I could make you could play Kenny G 5 blocks away, and I know exactly that's him.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things also about us, we seem to have a lot in common. We some people say we kind of look alike or we could be related, but we do have our differences.
Yeah.
And the biggest difference I think between us is our sports fandom because I'm a Yankee fan, you're a Mets fan. I'm a Jets fan, you're a Giants fan. I'm a Devils fan, you're a Rangers fan, but we love the New York Knicks.
That's what it is. I'll explain it to you. So in New York, Jersey, I'm gonna say the tri-state area.
Yeah.
You're either Mets fan or Yankee fan. That's what's available.
Right.
In football, you have 2 choices.
Yeah.
In basketball, there is 2 choices, but
there was only really one.
It's 90% New York Knicks fans in the tri-state area.
Yeah.
Because the team represents the city so well, and it just when I grew up in the 90s, we were great. And then we went to this 25-year stretch where we were awful. But I'm reliving all those childhood memories now.
Now I feel like it's Easter with Knick fans. You know, he's risen. We are rising.
Yeah. Brunson has returned.
Jalen has returned.
Actually, today I was listening to Jalen has a podcast with Josh Hart.
Yeah, and that's a great podcast too. Yeah.
And Pat Ewing was on the show. And as a kid growing up,
my all-time favorite
I gotta
Knick.
hear this. My favorite new Knick against one of my all-time favorite Knicks.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Very good.
Oh my God. And when that run that the Knicks were having in the playoffs, seeing all of those other old Knick fans from back in the day, Patrick Ewing, John Starks, all of those guys.
They took a photo together.
Yes.
I'm going to blow it up and put it in my studio at my house.
There's nothing more that I would have.
It was Melo, Ewing, Starks, Houston, LJ. Marbury was in the photo. Clyde. I don't know if
Larry Johnson.
Yeah, I said Larry was in there. Not the Pearl. It's not the Pearl. Bernard King is
Bernard
in the
King.
photo.
There you go. Yeah.
And I think Rick Barry too.
And the only one that was missing is Oakley, but we all know that's why that is.
I had this theory that had we been in the Eastern Conference Finals, I think Dolan would have brought him back.
Probably, yeah. He would have felt all nice and toasty, and we'd be like, you know what? I'm feeling good. Come on back home.
I mean, I like what they did, right?
Yeah.
Bringing all the old players back, kind of making the fans now reminisce on those players and seeing John Starks get up and pick up Josh Hart and be excited about the way Josh Hart plays. There's just something about that as a Knicks fan. And bringing back Oakley, because they forgave Marbury and they brought Marbury back,
right,
would be like the icing on the cake for me. Oakley and Mason were my guys in the 90s.
Yeah. Now there was nothing in that moment. There was nothing more that I wanted than to wish my father was still alive to see something like that, because that's how
you became a Knicks fan, right?
My father was the reason I became a Knicks fan, and it was that team, the most of those players in that team, and just going back in those days where we would watch in the living room or we were watching in his bedroom, and they would have, against Alonzo Mourning in the Heat or Reggie Miller and the Pacers. It was one of the
Mike and the Bulls,
of course. How could I forget that? But it was just a great time. I mean, just seeing the electricity in the Garden from our TV.
Oh, the way it is now. It's exactly the way it is now.
It never changed. It never changed.
And except that before we had these awful TVs that were tiny. It was more wood than television.
But you know what? That was our advanced technology at the time.
Marv Alberts was on the mic, and now we have Mike Breen, which I love Mike
Breen is one of the GOATs.
And I was kind of upset that Breen should have exclusive rights to broadcast every Knick game.
For sure. I'm 100% with you.
Nothing against, who was the team that did the Philly series?
Not Iron Eagle.
I think Iron Eagle was 1-on-1.
Yeah. But I love Iron Eagle because
I didn't get to hear Breen till the second round.
Something like that, yeah. And I'm a huge fan of Iron Eagle because it's funny because whenever I watch Jets games and Iron Eagle's on the call, for some reason I feel more confident in the win.
It was him, because I remember him making a call during the Knicks playoff run, and I love his voice for Jets games.
Oh, it's perfect.
Especially when they win.
Right. And I also love Bob Wischusen, who does the radio for the Jets. I don't know what he's going to do now because ESPN is now leaving FM radio. They're going to go to digital now. So the Jets are not going to be on ESPN radio anymore.
No, really?
Yeah, no. So I don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, the Jets are the bread and butter of the NFL right now. It's a big market. Rodgers there. There's a lot of intrigue. So I'm sure they're gonna be fine.
Yeah. I'm sure they're gonna be fine. I'm just wondering what's gonna happen because everything is changing now. Like, how am I gonna listen to, like, if I have to do like Uber Eats or something on a Sunday, how am I gonna listen to the Jets while I'm working? You know.
What about your oh man, what's his name that he goes on ESPN? That I told you, oh man, I'm not really a fan of his, and then you sent me a photo of you and him in the photo. Grassa, Dan Grassa.
Dan Grassa, yeah.
Not a Dan Grassa fan.
He's I don't have any problem with him.
It's just like you gotta have a specific taste for Grassa.
You know what's also weird, because I know that one of your favorite radio shows, DPHO and Rothenberg.
Yep.
I love Rothenberg as a broadcaster, and I think he has a phenomenal voice.
Yeah.
But when the topics that he talks about, sometimes I can't handle it. Like,
I love Dave.
I love him too.
Me and Dave have the same team.
Exactly. You guys have the same exact teams. But when he gets on his giant soapbox, I'm like, I can't listen to this.
I mean, this is the thing, right? So I would equate Dave's Giants fandom to my Knicks fandom.
Wow. So, in other words, if the Knicks lose, are you going to break your wedding video the way that Dave Rothenberg destroyed his when the Giants lost?
Probably.
Oh, my God.
Let me tell you, I was a kid in 1994. John Starks went 2 for 18. I will never forget. I'll never forget O.J. Simpson, first of all. I'll never forget the White Bronco. I'll never forget 1994.
Nobody is ever going to forget that.
I cried for about an hour and a half. After I knew it was, because the thing is the finality of it, being that 3-pointer Stark shot in Game 6, Olajuwon barely got tips of his fingers on it because John had cleared him, but just had Hakeem Olajuwon's arms been like half an inch smaller or whatever, the wingspan wasn't as big, John would have made that 3. We would be NBA champions.
And you know what one memory that will always make me angry as a kid is the Charles Smith game.
Oh, is that the 4? We don't talk about Charles Smith in my house.
No.
So I have that same crazy fandom for the Knicks.
Okay.
It got so bad that I was a delusional Knicks fan. My brother says that I'm a delusional Knicks fan. When we had David Lee, Nate Robinson, I was like, yo, we might have something. That's how delusional I was. I was not delusional when we got Steve Francis and Marbury together. I was excited when we got Marbury, though. I just felt like, man, the owner, he's just got to hire the right basketball people.
Yeah, like Isaiah Thomas, he was the coach.
Yeah, Isaiah Thomas was the GM, then he was the coach. Then then he brought in Donnie Walsh. I loved.
Donnie Walsh was good.
Donnie Walsh was. I was a fan of his because of what he had done in Indiana, and he had an idea of what to do.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Carmelo trade kind of blew up Donnie Walsh's plans.
Yeah.
Because he was going to wait for Melo.
But that was more Dolan than anything.
It was, but Melo was going to sign here regardless.
Exactly. Yeah.
I felt like Donnie Walsh was like, let's not pull the trigger. Let's wait. And then you not only do you get Melo, you get the superstar you crave, but you have the pieces that Melo needed around him.
Yes, and I'm always going to shout out Melo because, with the exception of probably Jalen Brunson or anybody else that's on the team now, he is the one NBA superstar that actually wanted the quote-unquote smoke. He actually wanted to come here.
Stoudemire too. I think people forget about Stat.
But I think the contract had something to do with it more than his.
I think it did, but I think Stat loved being a Knick.
No, he did. No, there's no doubt about that.
And I think when he signed on here and he was going on that, what do you have? Like 8 straight games with 30 points or more.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He had fans screaming MVP. And the Knicks were on a roll before that Melo trade.
Yeah, they were.
So just imagine that Knicks team. Like I'm right now. My new thing has been like, if I could have my January Knicks team, my 14-2 Knicks team, we could definitely beat these Boston Celtics. So another thing I say is if we could have my pre-Melo trade team with Melo, pretty good combination.
Yeah. So I want to switch gears here a little bit because I don't do as long as a show as you do. I wish I did, but eventually I'll get there. Yeah. But me and Marv were very fortunate to be on your show earlier this week. So definitely check out that latest episode of Rick H Show featuring Jason Enrique and Marv, the producer. One of the best podcast guest spots that I've ever done. So thank you very much, Rick, for that invite.
It was a challenging trivia battle between all of us.
Right. Yeah. But you know what?
Marv and you are the only ones that know like movie stuff like me.
Yeah, no, and
I've been in a room.
That's why I said. That's why I said at the end of that episode, after we finished recording, I feel like we were all meant to be in each other's lives after all. After this episode, so but. I do want to get a little bit deeper here because everybody knows the kind of show that I do and so on and so forth. So you did mention that we're in June right now. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I know that what's amazing to me is that you kind of fit the criteria of somebody that seems to have a lot going for himself. You have a beautiful wife, you have kids, you have a beautiful home, you have a good career for yourself, you're doing this, you're doing that, but at the end of the day, you're still human. So you go through it just like anybody else does. Yeah. And you've been doing it, you've been kind of going through your own personal struggles right now, and I get it because around the time when I started feeling better, I feel like that's when it started shifting over to you. So believe it or not, the first time that I went on your show, as much fun as I had, I had a blast that day, and I thank you for taking me out of that whatever I was going through at that time, because before and after I left, I reverted back to suffering in my own silence. So first off, thank you for that. But I know that you've kind of been going through your things, and I also appreciate you going on social media, being vulnerable and talking about that you've been going through it and you've been doing therapy and trying to do all this work and so on and so forth. So I kind of want to touch on that. But first and foremost, before we get deep into that, I just want to simply ask you, how are you feeling today, my brother?
I mean, I feel, I told you this at the beginning of the week, I feel better, in a better space.
Okay.
Historically, like my birthday's next week. Historically, I've always gotten, I don't know what triggers it, but it's an assessment of who I am, and where I want to be. And it's not that I'm ungrateful or I just forget who I am. In May. And this May was particularly difficult. I think my grandmother passed away in September. I'm 100% still dealing with it.
My condolences.
I don't really talk too much about it, but she was always there. My grandmother had dementia, and she never forgot my name.
Wow.
So it was tough, and her not being there, it's a big void, and it was just a bunch of stuff mentally, and I couldn't even. My out, like I mentioned earlier, is doing shows. So You know, I didn't do much in February. I think it was February. I tried to do something in March. Yeah, March I did. I picked it up. The Knicks was going. And then when the Knicks started rolling, they kind of distracted me for a while. But then when they got bounced out, I was like, I was in that space again. And then I'm still we're doing the network stuff. I'm still trying to like work at the time and push through it. And it's been my wife. It's been certain things that have gotten me in a different headspace. And then I'm working on a project now I'm very excited about. And it's just, again, feeding my creative side and also remembering who I am. I'm very humble. I try to be as humble as possible. When people say things to me, I don't like the attention. I'm very uncomfortable with it.
We talked about that when I was on your show. Like when I congratulated you and I gave you your flowers with everything you've been doing. Yeah. We realized that we actually have
uncomfortable. Yeah, that's moments. I don't like that.
That's what we found out about each other, because even you giving me all the props and flowers earlier on the show today of this episode that we're recording right now, I appreciate it. I love it.
Like you shouldn't be sitting there.
Yeah, exactly. Like what? Like is he blowing smoke up my ass right now? And you know, this is something. And this is something that me and Marv have talked about quite a few times throughout our friendship. Where he asked me like, why do I talk negatively of myself and so on and so forth? Now, sometimes, for the most part, that's just self-deprecating humor. But I realize that words actually have more power than people realize. Yeah. But it also comes from a place where my upbringing and the experiences that I went through had sometimes made me feel like I'm not supposed to be where I'm at right now. And it's kind of, that's why, I forget what rapper said this in a song.
You don't deserve.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It's not
to be in that space.
Not so much that. It's more like, I think it was T.I. that said in one of his songs, like, I've been feeling so much congratulations lately. I've been brought down for so long that congratulations is an odd feeling.
Yeah.
So that's exactly
one
what it
thing.
is.
And I always things have been going so well for me. My 30s were fantastic. I'm always the one that's like, okay, this is going too great, but there's always been like a major catastrophe growing up.
I think that's...
And you're always waiting for that other shoe to drop.
And sadly, that's also where our sports teams tie into it, because I know as a Jets fan, like even when things are going great, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yeah. So
that's why I love sports so much. Like,
yeah, it's definitely an escape, but. But let me tell you something, and this is actually pretty funny. I remember when I was excited on September 11th last year when there was the Jets and the Bills, and Aaron Rodgers is coming out with the American flag.
Such a beautiful moment.
Oh my God, it's great. And
pan in from the back, he's running out holding the flag. I am a Giants fan, but I was fully prepared to watch every single freaking Jet game. Yeah, because I've always loved Rodgers, and I like some of the guys on the Jets. You just can't help but like. And I felt like, man, if they just had I was like, man, I wish we could give him Danny Dimes, because I feel like they got something over there. No. But what I mean is, like, before you got Rodgers, right?
Okay.
And they were struggling, and Danny Dimes he had that great year, and I was like, man, if they had Danny Dimes that season, that with that defense and that Jets team, they could do something.
Maybe. Well, definitely a lot more than Zach Wilson, that's for sure.
And Boyle. You had Boyle, Wilson. Mike White.
Don't ever bring that name up in my show ever again. Fuck Tim Boyle. Yo.
I got a friend of mine that says Mike Boyle has thrown
Tim Boyle.
One more. I'm confusing him with Mike White.
I know.
Tim Boyle. I've thrown one more. Tim Boyle has thrown one more touchdown pass in his college career than me.
Or Christian Hackenberg. Remember that disaster? Yeah. But anyway, but going back to the subject at hand, it's crazy because it's surprising because I would think with everything that I see from the outside looking in, with what I see on social media and everything, it just goes to show you never really know what's going on with somebody. I mean, I could imagine that people are looking what I'm doing with this podcast or other projects that I'm working on, and they see me do my thing, but they sometimes really don't know what's really going on inside between the two ears. Yeah. And that could be a struggle in itself.
I've said this several times on Instagram. People are going to post their wins. Yeah. You'll never see losses. Right. So I have posted like, hey, I'm not good. Yeah. But when I'm in that mood to make people laugh, I'll put something up. So I think the post went, people never post their losses. They only post their wins or whatever.
Yeah.
So don't fall into the illusion of what social media is.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people that they're famous on Instagram, but they're piece of shit people.
Right. Oh, believe me, I know quite a few that I can put on the top of my head.
I can curse here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, and then I met some tremendous people that they're like Riddell is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Chicle is one of the smartest guys I've ever met in my life.
That's awesome.
And they're not different off camera than they are on camera. They're the exact same human being.
That's what I love. I love people that are genuine on and off the mic or on and off the screens.
Yeah, so it's just, and then it just happened to be men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Right.
And the partnership we got with BetterHelp. I wasn't doing that because of the partnership. I was doing it because I felt like, man, this kind of works.
Yeah.
So let me see if maybe somebody else.
Is this the first time that you've ever attempted therapy?
First time.
Wow.
I've only done like 2 sessions, but it was weird. When you log on and you go through the questionnaire, the first one they match you with a therapist.
Yeah.
But you could change it.
Right.
So I'm looking at the therapist and I'm like, is this the person I'm gonna open up to? I don't think I'll feel comfortable with this guy.
But you know what though?
It's swap him out.
You know what it is? It's like also it's like dating, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Like you have to see which one is going to be right for you, and ultimately you never know because
it's cool.
You can't really judge a book by its cover.
Well, you kind of at that point. Well, they give you like their pedigree information and stuff like that, and what they specialize in, how many years they've been in the service. Then they give you their availability and stuff like that. So, but I kind of like first I was looking for either a Black or Latino man.
Okay.
Right. Second, I was looking for someone that I probably just by the photo I probably feel comfortable talking to. And it's been good, and it's probably something I'm gonna. My father-in-law told me that he was like, speaking to someone is good. Multiple people have told me that. My friend Jose Cruz, he
was on my show. shout out to you, bro.
He's very big on like men's mental health.
Oh my god! And then, but not just men's, but just mental health in general. But he's a good representation for it.
And he's another guy that I met him on social media first, then I met him in person. Yeah, exact same dude. A good dude.
Same thing. It's funny because I actually spoke to him on the phone yesterday just to see how he's doing. Because he just came to mind, and I was like, you know what? Let me hit up Jose. I just want to see how he's doing because he's always spreading this positive message to everybody and so on and so forth. But you know what?
Which he means it. This is not for the clout. This is just how he is.
That's just who he is. But I also remember he's human. So and like sometimes how the saying goes, check up on your strong friend. Yeah. He is the epitome of strong friend. So that's why I just want to see how he was doing in general.
Yeah, sometimes that friend that's laughing the loudest might not be the one that's the happiest. So.
Right, and we kind of spoke about this on the last episode we just did this week on your show, where Robin Williams was probably the only celebrity that I was heartbroken and sad when he passed away. For me. And one of the things that kind of gets me still emotional about it is, this is a guy that brought so much joy and laughter to millions of people in the world.
But he was suffering.
But the only person that he couldn't make happy was himself.
Mm-hmm.
I get emotional just thinking about that. And it just goes to show, I think that was a big eye-opener for me when it goes to show that, you never really understand what somebody's going through. And I just wish, even though I'm nobody compared to Robin Williams, I wish I could have been there just to see that he's okay.
Yeah. So let me tell you something about, I do comedy. I would never call myself a comedian. Some people have. Comedians are probably one of the saddest people in the world.
It's the sad clown effect.
Yeah, and usually the funniest comedian has the most trauma.
Yeah. I think that Patrice O'Neal, one of the greatest comedians of all time, he was definitely going through it. I mean, he had to deal with diabetes, obesity, the fact that he was black, and a lot of the self-deprecating humor that he did in his comedy. It was hilarious because he was a funny storyteller and he knew how to sell it. But he knew. But he's also at the same time kind of telling, "Hey, people, this is how I'm feeling. I need help."
So when you're writing bits or comedy stuff like that, you're exaggerating, but sometimes you project how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
On the stage. So comedians might make you laugh, but they're probably going through something mentally, and usually it comes from some sort of lifelong trauma or something like that.
Yeah, and also not even just comedians, but just funny people in general. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. So our mutual friend and also friend of Bravery as well, Rachel La Loca, one of the greatest people of all time.
Shout out to Rachel.
Yeah. Again, this was somebody that I knew from social media and all of the things that she was doing. She makes me laugh my ass off. She is so fucking funny. I think that she deserves all the greatest things in the world.
She talks a mile a minute. Like, Rachel, she does. Rachel's, she's like quick. Yeah. Oh, super talented, very creative, knows how to organize things. Probably one of the greatest like people on my phone that I could call for advice or something like that. Rachel is
she's the GOAT. I love her.
She is, man. I don't think she gets her just due,
Right. But the point that I'm getting at here is that I see all of her accolades and all these projects and stuff like that, and it's well deserved because she's fucking hilarious. But when you actually get to actually talk to her, and you're just talking to Rachel, you're not talking to Rachel La Loca, you're talking to Rachel, and see how vulnerable and honest and genuine she is, and she's gone through her own trials and tribulations. It's and being able to be there for each other as like pure friends, or even like a little bit. It's almost like kind of a family there, and you kind of correlate with the same struggles and so on and so forth. It goes to show that these are the type of people that you want in your life, and you want to see them succeed, and they deserve to succeed because
100%.
Because that's just who they are. And I just love seeing that vulnerability, and at the same time, she could still be one of the strongest people you know.
Yeah, she's also, when you need a laugh, that's someone.
Oh my God, she cracks me up. Whether I talk to her on the phone or I see something on her profile, hilarious. Always a good time. I mean, same thing with Alana J. Alana J cracks my ass up all the time.
I think with Rachel, in person, no cameras and stuff like that.
Yes,
she's super witty and super, because she has her bits and her stuff like that, but. Just hang out with Rachel one time. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Rachel La Loca. Round of applause for everybody. So, let's switch into something a little bit more positive here. So, Marv, I think it's about that time, don't you think? Oh, you're not mic'd up right now, right? All right. So, I want to give a big shout out to Marv because he actually surprised me with something that we had been talking about, but he actually... he was the one that was the brain of this operation.
This part right now.
Exactly. And we talked about this, and he actually orchestrated. He actually executed it. Okay. And now I think it's time because everybody's always saying that we got the greatest voices in podcast history, and now it's time to put that up to the test. We're gonna see.
Oh wait, I got a couple of things that I've always done.
Yeah.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
Yo, one of my favorites.
There's a couple things that I like. I feel like I could kill it.
Yeah.
Spot on. That's one of them, and I'm trying to remember it. If the other one comes to me, I'll do it.
Yeah. So, damn, I wish that Marv was mic'd up so that he could give us the voiceovers. But I have the quotes here. I have it right here.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if he sent it to you as well, but
I have. Marv did send me. This is like, man, I'm like.
What are you, Harlem shaking?
I got the. He did. Hold on a second.
Okay.
He did send it to me, but you go first. Though.
Okay, all right. So we have the voice off. That's how they got it. So besides, okay, hold on. We might have a little bit of we might introduce Marv to first class, second place on this.
Oh, Marv's mic'd up now. This will be easier because he could quarterback it.
Yeah, but while he's doing that, I want to give a big thank you to not only Marv, but I also want to give a big shout out to Hugo and also Chris Abalo and Mina Mendoza because they also contributed to lines for us to say in this voice off.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Okay.
You have Ugo's picks, you got Abalo's picks, and Mina's picks. Mina's
testing. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, we hear you just fine. Ladies and gentlemen, Marv Perdomo is in the building.
Marv is hit. Marvelous Marv.
Yeah, the king of podcasts, ladies and gentlemen, which you can find on Instagram right now.
The king of pod and the greatest podcast of all
right,
time.
so, Marv, first and foremost, thank you for joining us real briefly, and thank you for this voice off that you created for us. And,
how are we going to determine the winner of this thing? Because I like to win.
I think the viewers.
Are going to do. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a poll on the end.
Okay.
Yeah. Pause. But and then afterwards we'll let the
you just had to throw it in there. The polls, huh?
I was gonna say, Jason, we had talked about this before the show.
Yeah. All right. But anyways, I'm ready to go. And since you are the guest of honor here, we'll let you start off first.
I mean, I can't find my email.
It's okay.
It's all right. He's going to repeat it.
All right, cool,
so he's going to say it, and then afterwards, all right. Hold on.
me.
How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow?
Rachel does a good.
Oh my God, yes.
I forgot. She does a good
it's in Spanish.
Voice warmer one.
And she has one in Spanish too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shout out to her, man. All right, Marv, please.
Okay, so we'll start off with my picks. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So my first pick was. You're a fun guy, Sully. I like you. That's why I'm going to kill you last. Let's start with Jason.
Yeah. I like you, Sonny. Hold on. Let me start over.
What film is this, first of all?
Commando.
Okay.
Yeah. I like you, Sully. You're a funny guy. That's why I'm going to kill you last. All right. Do you need to read off it, Rick? Because you could have.
No.
All right, cool.
I train the mind, train the voice, train the mind, train the voice.
You cheating right now with that soft, sexy voice right now.
The guy's name is Sully?
Sully, yeah.
I like you, Sully. That's why I'm going to kill you last.
Okay, all right.
Here's one
next.
from Cobra.
It
says, you're a disease and I'm the cure.
Rick, you go first.
Because you're the disease and I'm the cure.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. You're the disease, and I'm the cure.
Why you gotta put extra bass in the shit? It's already cheating on this.
This is WWE right now. This is all right.
I'm styling and profiling.
To be the man, you gotta be the man.
All right. Here's from Die Hard is an easy one. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Oh man. Hold on. You know why I can't go first on this? Because I'm gonna remember our conversation. I'm gonna start die.
All right. So you want me to start first?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. All right.
Here's some Hard to Kill, which I believe is Steven Seagal.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to take you to
movies.
the bank, Senator Trent, the blood bank.
Okay.
I'm going to read it again.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to take you to the bank, Senator Trent, the blood bank.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. The blood bank. You know, Seagal got that.
He's got that breathy voice.
That's. I don't know. He's got a unique voice.
I know. Well, that's putting it nicely. I'm going to take you to the bank, Senator Trent. The blood bank.
See, at the beginning, I felt the Seagalness, and
then I fucked it up.
it just, you can't, my throat hurts if I try to
good.
keep
I
it.
like both of them.
Yeah.
Let's see what the viewers say.
Yeah.
You guys both home run right there. All right. Here's one. It's wordy. This is Arnold in Conan.
Oh.
To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women.
This is too many
Do you want to read it? I have it right
I
here.
might need it.
Yeah. Use the script. Use the script.
This is actually my favorite Arnold line ever.
To crush your enemies, you have to see them driven before you, and you hear them. I can't even pronounce that word.
Lamentations.
Lamentation of their women. I can't even do the back part.
All right.
That's too wordy, Mark.
Yeah. To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women.
I got a bit of an accent in the middle of that.
Yeah, you did.
It was pretty good, though. I liked it.
I didn't do no accent. I phoned it in.
Hey, listen, Arnold, English is not his first language. If he's able to do this, he can do this. All right.
Stick around.
Here's Ugo's picks.
Okay.
Okay.
And a lot less wordy. So we're going to need a bigger boat.
That's from Jaws.
Jaws, yeah.
Oh, I remember the scene.
Yeah.
He said it very nonchalantly.
Yeah.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
Good. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to do some acting here as well.
Got to bring that in.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
You guys are gonna like the name.
Swear to me!
Oh, we should put some Batman in there, some Christian Bale.
All right.
Next one. There's no crying in baseball.
A League of Their Own, Tom Hanks.
There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball.
What? Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying in baseball.
That's the first line. I knew there was because he repeats it twice, but couldn't get that first line. I don't remember.
But you know what it is? People get it messed up because people always used to say, "Luke, I'm your father," but in actuality, in the movie, he says, "No, I am your father."
Yeah.
So it just gets a little mixed up. All right, Marv.
Next one. I don't remember which character said this in the movie, but
it's from New Jack City.
New Jack City, and it's this thing is bigger than Nino Brown.
Nino Brown says it when he's on the stand.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Okay.
Well,
Wow, I'm such a hack.
All right,
I should have
give
known
this to
that.
Wesley,
I'm one of the worst podcasters of all time. I should have known that.
This thing is bigger than Nino Brown. Because in the trial, he starts to like take the attention off him. Hit the mic. And he's man, that's a dope scene.
Yeah.
I need my earring for
All
that.
right. The hoop. This thing is bigger than Nino Brown. I wasn't particularly too proud of that one, but
I think if they were to cast me and Jason in the movie,
we would be like Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yeah, or like somebody's like security guards.
Oh, I could see you guys in a movie with Wesley Snipes.
I would love that.
Yeah.
There's a movie that came out with Luis Guzman called Puerto Ricans in Paris. We should do the sequel.
I've watched it.
We should do the sequel. All right.
Okay, next one. These are Chris Abalo's picks. Jesse Ventura in Predator. Ain't got time to bleed.
Oh, wait.
I love this one, yeah.
I ain't got time to bleed. I could do the Robert Downey Jr. Tropic Thunder cadence. I feel like I can nail it down on that one.
I'm sure. Yeah, no, that's actually pretty good. All right. I ain't got time to bleed. Shout out to Funkmaster Flex.
You want to look at her and you want to say, what's her name? Lance. You want to say Lance?
Yo, you cheated right now. That's not even part of the criteria. All right.
All right.
Lance.
Yeah, you guys might need to share the script for this one, but
Okay.
I don't know what movie this is from that Abalo picked, but I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her.
Oh, come on. I think this has never been kissed, is it?
Is it?
I think it might be, yeah. But then again, I never seen Never Been Kissed, so.
This is when she's in the baseball field?
I think so.
Possibly.
I'm going to Google it.
By the way, Marv.
Please Google that, Marv. Let me know if I'm correct. You know how I am with the movie stuff.
By the way, Marv, you have some extra ones that Chris sent me through text message. I just texted to you right now, just so you know. That's what I'm texting you now.
Okay. Oh no, this is Julia Roberts.
Oh, Pretty Woman?
Wait,
is it
say
Pretty
it.
Woman? No, I'm looking at. It says Notting Hill, 1999.
Yes.
With Hugh Grant. Okay.
But there is something similar that Drew does in the movie Never Been Kissed.
Yeah.
Maybe she got it from that.
And I know there's a parody to that line.
Well, that's from Deadpool. In Deadpool, he parodies it. He's like, now, if you excuse me, I'm just a girl about to stand in front of a boy and say, what the fuck am I going to tell her?
I actually have never heard of this movie, Notting Hill.
It's with Hugh Grant.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I heard of it. But anyway, yeah, let's get back to the
yeah. So I'm going to read it one more time.
Yeah.
I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her. So let's hear your Julia Roberts.
I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her.
All right, that's good. I like that.
I felt like I was Julia at that moment. She was here.
I like it a lot. All right, I'm actually gonna read off of it. Sorry. I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her.
I mean, your last line was a little bit better. I'll admit that. Just a little bit. I like that. Like
Julia Roberts has a tough voice because it's not very distinct.
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta embody Julia in that. You know, I felt like I was a prostitute for a second there, just a tad.
Well, then I'll be your Richard Gere.
Oh,
Little bromance going on here on men's mental health awareness.
Just as long as you buy me some diamonds and pearls.
All right.
Here's Mina's picks.
No, we have another Chris Abalo one.
Oh, on my list is only that.
I have one. It's
okay.
All right.
You said
Give it to me.
Right?
We can do it on the fly.
I'll do it first, and then after you go.
All right.
Okay.
It's one of the most quotable quotes ever.
Some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. I don't know the movie.
I don't know the movie either, but no, the one that I was gonna say is Bond, James Bond.
Oh, I missed that one. You're right.
So, get your James Bond on.
He's trying to pull the big guns out.
Always pull a big out. Pause.
Bond, James Bond.
Oh, you got the accent and everything.
Oh, man. I think you guys were doing two different Bonds.
I know. I feel like I was
Connery,
Pierce Brosnan and he was Daniel Craig.
I was definitely channeling. I was Daniel all day, every day for like a second there.
Yeah, well, if I wanted to do Sean Connery, I'd be like Bond, James Bond.
Oh, there it is. There's that little with the Irish.
Scottish.
Yeah,
he's Scottish. All right. But yeah, I'll do the one that I sent you. Some birds are meant to be caged. Wait, hold on. I fucked up. Some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. And I feel like I heard that movie. I've heard that line somewhere. I just don't remember exactly where.
I don't know the line at all.
But I'm gonna look that up because that's an interesting quote.
Yeah,
it's from a Stephen King book.
Oh, Shawshank Redemption. That's what it's from.
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption.
Is this Morgan Freeman's line?
Yes.
Oh, we about to do some Morgan right now.
Some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. That's a horrible Morgan Freeman.
Some birds aren't meant to be caged. That's all. Their feathers are too bright. Their songs are too sweet and wild. So let them go.
Yep, I like that. All right. Now, what about the one from Dirty Dancing? Everybody knows this one.
Nobody puts baby in the corner. Is that it?
That's it? Yep.
Oh, yeah, I told you. I think this movie thing is us.
Yes,
man.
it is. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Patrick Swayze, one of the greatest actors of all time, man.
Yes, R.I.P. to one of the GOATs. All right. The popular one from Good Will Hunting.
Wait, Is this the one where they're at a bar or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know the line.
I'll do it. Do you like apples? Well, guess what? I got a number. How do you like them apples?
Shit, Boston is hard. I'm from New York. Talk with that. Do you like apples? Well, guess what? I got a number. How you like them apples? I've never been a Matt Damon fan, by the way.
I like Matt Damon more than Ben Affleck.
Like Boston, that was pretty good.
Yeah. And this one from one of the greatest love stories of all time, Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, this is a Brokeback moment, so this is perfect.
Exactly.
Marv, you put this together?
No, this is Chris that put it together. Yeah. I'll say it, and then afterwards you repeat after me. It's a small.
I've
one.
never watched the film, by the way.
I have.
So you got to tell me who said this.
Jake Gyllenhaal said this.
Oh, Jake?
All right, yeah.
I look like Jake, so this would be easy.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Man, I felt like the gay aura came out perfectly. The little sassiness with the hands on the hips was perfect.
Yeah.
So,
I wish I knew how to quit you. That's the line.
I wish I knew how to quit you. That's like kind of like Prince-ish. You know?
All right, and then we have Mina's picks finally.
I don't know if she means Step Brothers when she put this, but this is her exact wording. So
Yeah.
it says hoes before bros.
Well, no, Step Brothers is boats and hoes. So, but anyway,
I don't know what she's referring to. Then
I don't know. Shout out to Mina.
Hoes before bros or bros before hoes?
She says hoes before bros. This is probably from like, I don't know, Bridesmaids or some shit. I don't know.
A girl movie we haven't seen.
Sounds like Mean Girls or something. I don't know.
Hoes before bros.
Okay.
I said it backwards, didn't I?
No, that's the way I was supposed to be. Hoes before bros.
It is a bridesmaid line, maybe.
Okay. Hoes before bros.
He made it like a white girl thing. You heard that?
Hey, I don't recall that in any Tiffany Haddish movie or anything. So there you go. Shout out to Mina. And what's the final one from Mina?
This is Never Been Kissed, and this is Jessica Alba's only line in the movie.
See, Marv would know some shit like that. I would not know that.
I didn't know that.
He would know that.
I didn't know that
I
either.
got in trouble for laughing about this, and
Okay.
I was at Planned Parenthood.
Oh, wow.
There was a girl just crying her eyes out, and this part of the movie popped in my head, and I was sitting across from her, and she's crying, and I just started laughing really loud. So I left. I felt really bad. But
I feel like you got to play that Price is Right sound. Bum, bum, bum,
Yeah.
Damn, Marv.
Yeah. What a downer. But anyway, yeah. What's the line?
You so don't deserve to be prom queen.
Okay.
You so don't deserve to be prom queen.
I think I got a player for you, so you can get the Jessica Alba.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it.
All right.
By the way, I never thought I'd hear Planned Parenthood and laughing in a podcast before. So I think this has to be a first.
Yeah.
It's a first on first class.
I never told nobody that story. But this is the line.
Okay.
Here's the one all the way on the left is Jessica Alba.
Yeah, I could tell.
I knew it. You are a loser. You ruined everything. You so do not deserve to be prom queen.
Yeah, I can't get down that low. You so do not deserve to be prom queen.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try not to break my voice on this one. You so don't deserve to be prom queen. Oh God, that hurt. All right, so what we're gonna do? First of all, Marv, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So for all the viewers at home, what we're gonna do? We're gonna have a poll. We're gonna put it up on the internet, and you will decide.
Prime.
And we're gonna determine who is the king of voiceover. Jason Enrique or Rick H, the greatest podcaster of all time. Now, before we go, man.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
Get those turtles. Anyway, so before we go, bro, I want to tell you that it's been fun having you here. I can't wait to do this again.
I had a ton of
And before we go, I just have one more segment.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so this is called This or That. We're up against the clock. This is basically rapid fire. This or that. It's inspired from you can get with this or you can get with that.
Yeah.
And I tailored it around you.
Okay.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's start off with this or that. You ready, Marv? You ready, Rick?
Yep.
All right. Mr. Rick H, for this or that, playlist or podcast?
Oh, shit. Podcast.
All right. Taylor ham or pork roll?
Pork roll.
You guys suck. KFC or Popeyes?
Oh, that's so tough. I'm going to go with KFC if we got them goddamn wedges back.
Ice water or room temperature?
Ice water. I like ice in my water. I don't know.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
Slides or Crocs?
Both on that one. I'm sorry.
All right. Beach or pool?
Pool. I'm a pool guy. My wife's the beach person.
All right. Mofongo or mangu?
I'm Dominican, so I'm going to say mango.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
All right. Target or Walmart?
I'm going to say Walmart. There's more options than Walmart.
Introvert or extrovert?
I'm a little bit of both. I'm going to say
Everybody says
extrovert.
that.
Extrovert.
All right. Batman or Superman?
Batman all day.
Yoda or Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yoda. Baddest motherfucker on the universe.
Would you rather be too hot or be too cold?
I'd rather be too cold, honestly.
Me too. I could just cover up.
I sweat like a pig.
Yeah,
so.
me too. Do you prefer the window seat or the aisle seat?
None of them shits. I don't like flying. Aisle.
Okay, me too. I'm the aisle guy. Which are you? Half glass empty or half glass full?
Half glass full.
All right. To give or to receive?
I'd rather give.
All right. Carhartt jacket or Champion hoodies?
Damn. I'm gonna say Champion hoodies.
All right. This is the very New York part of it. Scott Hall or Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Scott Hall.
Lawrence Taylor or Michael Strahan?
Strahan.
Doc Gooden or Daryl Strawberry?
Doc.
All right. James Cameron or Steven Spielberg?
Spielberg.
And then finally, teamwork or solo project?
Teamwork.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this or that. And also, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode of First Class, Second Place. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to my guest, Rick H., for coming through, the greatest podcaster of all time.
Can I be a first class guy now?
Of course. Bro, you've been first class since first class started.
No, I'm just saying, like, you got to certify people. You got to give them, like, little wings or something.
Ah, I see what you did there. Like TWA or something.
Marketing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fly first class for the first time. I never fly first class.
All right. I love that. Well, anyways, bro, thank you so much for coming through, man. It was a pleasure as always. All right. So where can you? Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Oh, you can follow me on Instagram. Instagram's my main thing. I mean, I have everything at Rick Hero, at the Rick A Show, TikTok at the Rick A Show, YouTube at the Rick A Show, therickashow.com. Yeah, all the even what's the other? Facebook, X, Rick Hero, the Rick A Show, the Rick A Show, the Rick A Show, the Rick A Show.
New episodes coming out
Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can catch the Rick A Show on Tuesdays at 8:30, and the new show, the 2 a.m. Crew, Thursdays beginning in July at 8 o'clock.
Love it. And also coming soon, a future Bravery movie podcast starring the three of us.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm excited. I couldn't go to sleep that night thinking of films.
Yeah, no, same way, man. And definitely got to get Marv on the next episode.
I'm trying to stomp Marv with a movie fact. I'm gonna get a couple questions.
Oh, good luck. That's an uphill battle you're gonna die on.
No. I got some shit.
All right.
The one line thing, I know facts like that, but Marv wouldn't know that fact.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's Wikipedia with film, man.
Well,
So
I didn't know any of the romance movie quotes, so I think that's the only area.
well, guess what?
I got you.
Well,
Mark.
guess what? You know them
I got
now.
you beat, man.
You know them now.
I love to cry.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you so much to Marvin Rickage for coming through. Thank you. And you can find me at I am Jason Enrique on all social media platforms. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube by First Class Second Place. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Hit that bell.
Yes,
Bing.
exactly. This has been the First Class Second Place podcast. We out.
Peace.